What's up, y'all? It's your boy Roscoe P, and I'm back with another one of my tales from overseas. Whew, man, have I got a banger for y'all? I've got a good tale for y'all. It's been a minute, so let's get right to it. Hostess clubs and hostesses. I know y'all are like, what is that, Roscoe? What's a hostess club? What's a hostess? So, a hostess club is a place where imagine there's not really any place like it in America. I don't think. Um, I'm trying to think. Is there? No, I don't think so. I've never seen one. So a hostess club is a place where imagine a really nice lounge area, a club, but no banging music and no people jumping up and down. Like a place where there are couches, tables, like a VIP section in the club, right? But this whole place is the place. The whole VIP section is the whole club, and you have women um, that are dressed to the nines. I mean, evening gowns, dresses, hair done, nails done, makeup done if they need makeup. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women. And you just get off work, and let's say your name is Steve, right? You get off work, you go to this club, right? And in this club, take your jacket off, you hang it up, you walk in, and you see all these beautiful women. But you've been coming to this club, so let's say Sarah. We'll use the name Sarah. Let's say that Sarah is the one that you've been chopping up. So you walk in, Sarah says, "Hey, Steve, how are you? Come sit down, have a drink. Tell me about your day." And you might have had an exhausting day. So you're like, "Man, let me tell you about how my day was and what my boss did and, blah, 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 blah." But, and then you talk to her about her day and she tells you how her day went. And it's just a back and forth. And you guys are doing this over drinks. And that's it. And then you might have a little bit too much to drink. Your night is probably over. You got to get home. You're like, "All right, Sarah, I'll come check you out tomorrow or on Thursday, or I might come Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whenever you decide to come." And that is essentially what a hostess club is. Um, in Japan, they have the opposite, the vice versa part of it, which is host clubs. It's women going in, and the men are dressed up in like nice, um, nice clothes, and they talk to the women and flirt with them, and it's a really kind of unique thing in Japan. It's very unique. I've never seen anything like that until I went to Japan, and it boggled my mind why people would just want to go there. Because I'm from America. I'm used to ripper clubs. Y'all know what they are. Throw the S in front. The girls, they dance. You might toss a dollar or two at them, a little more, and then that's the entertainment or excitement. They don't talk. But it's kind of like that experience where you go into a space, there's a nice lounge, comfortable area, and you're waiting for the girl to come out. That's not what hostess clubs are. Hostess clubs, there's nobody taking anything off or going home with anybody. It's just like we're kicking it, we're chilling. I have heard of cases where guys go in there so much, talk to the girl starts to like them, and then, you know. Um, but for the most part, that's what it is. And what ends up happening, there's really no exchange of anything. Um, Again, there's always a caveat. There might be an exchange at some point, but for the most part, I'd say 80% of the time, there's no exchange. Um, so this tale comes to you from Tokyo and Osaka, two places I lived at when I was in Japan, and I ended up becoming very, very, very good friends with one of the top hostesses in Tokyo. Um, she and we're still friends to this day. Like we kick it when I go there. Like that's my homie. When she comes to the states, she's my homie. It's we go play golf together. Like we do a lot of things and just hang out when I see her. And she would tell me about some of the stories that I'm about to tell you guys. And she invited me to come with her. I saw some of it firsthand. I'm like, oh my God. Like it's just crazy. So a typical night, and this is just from me knowing my friend, right? We'll call my friend Tiffany. So from a typical night, Tiffany, um, before her shift started at like 6. It went from like 6 to 12. She would uh, get her hair done every day, makeup done perfectly, put on a dress. She has a beautiful smile, great personality, so she's very personable. And that's one of the big draws to being a hostess is you have to have a big personality because you have to attract people. So my question was like, well, how do you get paid? Because she would always have in Japan. Most of the people live in very small apartments. Tiffany was living in a 2 floor townhouse driving a Jaguar. I was like, bro, what are you doing to make this money? And she explained it to me. She was very nice about it. And that's kind of how our friendship started. It started through another friend of mine who knew her well. And he introduced us. And me and her were just like thick as thieves from the start. She came to some of my basketball games. I invited her there. She would invite me. We were just like really cool. She would talk to me about like her love life and I'd, give her advice and stuff. So anyway, most of the people in Japan live in very small apartments, Like I said before, she was living large. And so I asked, I was like, yo, how? Like, how are you doing this? So she told me what ends up happening is they get paid, the women, on the liquor sales. So if you sell a bottle of, I don't know how familiar you guys are, Johnny Walker Black, which is a very low label Johnny Walker, right? You're not going to get that much. But if you sell a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue, which is the highest label Johnny Walker has, you're going to get more money because you're going to get a percentage of the amount of liquor that is bought. So it's in those women's best interest to, as they talk, get the guy to buy more expensive alcohol. And you bring them in by getting to know them. So the more you have a repeat customer, the more he's going to want to splurge on it. The more times that you see him and it's personable to that customer, then that's what it is. And it's genius if you think about it, right? Like you just get to know a guy. The guy, in Japan, it's a very big work culture. So, they work, 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 work. And sometimes they don't have anybody to really talk to or communicate with. So a lot of the times these hostesses are like their friends, their only friends. So they keep going back and back and, hey, I want to drink with you. Let's drink, let's drink. And it turns into like a friendship. Tiffany worked in a hostess club in Shinjuku, which is one of the most expensive places, like Shinjuku, Omotesando, Hirajuku, Shibuya areas. It's a very expensive area, and that's where she worked. And she would like bump into all of these rich people, and these guys would come there after work, or a lot of the times they would just go to the club. It's not just a social place. Businesses go to these clubs and do business because it's a really lounge club. They want to show their people a good time, so they bring them to these clubs. So Tiffany is telling me all these stories, and these guys that go to Tiffany's club are just spending big bucks, like hundreds and thousands of yen, which is um a couple $100. So It was kind of amazing that she's telling me all this and showing me this world I had never known. I'm there playing basketball. I don't know what this is. I'm going to practice and going home. And these guys would come in and buy like bottles of champagne, Moet, um, bottles of whiskey and scotch, and Japanese people make some of the best whiskey, and it's very expensive. And these guys will come in and buy bottles of this stuff, and she would just get paid. She told me that one night there was a party for one of her clients, one of the bigger clients, and she came home with 10,000 US after one night because everybody kept buying. I'm like, yo, get the out of here, yo, get out of here. 10 grand in a night? She's like, yeah, they came in, they drank, I entertained, I talked to everybody. And then they were giving her tips at the end, like, oh, you did such a great job here. So all of this money that she's making is just piling up. And suffice to say, she lived a good life, a really good, relaxed life. And she still enjoys that good, relaxed life today. Admittedly, it's a young woman's game. So the younger you are and the more pretty that you are, hey, you're going to make more money. She's like, the pretty ones make the most money because they're the ones that the guys are attracted to talk to. And if they're personable, boom, that's it. Like that's everything you would ever want in a hostess. So that's kind of an explanation of what a hostess and a host club is. But there's like a seedier side to it that I didn't understand until she would like point it out to me and I would see it happening myself. Man, listen, oh boy. uh it gets crazy after a while, like when you start to understand it and start to see it. So you guys can kind of tell how this is going to transition, from like kind of people just going to work entertaining other people to something that could transition into something not so great. um so that was in Tokyo. I ended up going to another team. I lived in Osaka, and I one of the guys from the Osaka team, because I was playing in Kobe, but I lived in Osaka, which is like a 30-minute train ride. I just like the vibe of Osaka way better than like Kobe. Don't hold it against me. Just personal preference. So a couple of the guys from the Osaka team I was really good friends with, and their owner took them to hostess clubs. And so they would invite me to come along, and I rolled. And this hostess club was like crazy, crazy, crazy. They had a lounge singer from, she was from, where was she from? She was a lounge singer from Singapore. Um, but she wasn't Singaporean. Uh, what was she? She was Middle Eastern, but she could sing, man. She could sing, and she and I became good friends too. And we would kick it, we would hang out, and then when I would go to the club just to kick it with her, just hang out, talk, and chop it up. But she wasn't a hostess; she was just the singer. So me and her just like kicked it, like we hung out, we chilled out. Really cool person. Um, and some of the things that I had heard and she had talked to me about that were going on in that club were crazy, crazy. Man, listen, like I said, this is a two-parter. I'm going to get you guys to the next part. I'm going to get you guys to the crazier stuff. This was just the explanation. I needed to do this in order for y'all to understand the next stories that are coming. All right? Yo, it's been a blast like it always is. It's your boy Roscoe P. Man, I'll be back with another tale from overseas. If you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, share with a friend. I'll see y'all in the next one.